Well. Hello there. Today is October 26th, Thursday. So, yeah, today's a Thursday. The topic for today, since it's already night, as you can see, I want to talk about food addiction. I've been thinking about it since today, actually. It just came to my mind because a few minutes ago, I want to say like 10 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago, I finished eating some chicken and rice with some sauce, right? I think it's called tikka masala, right? From, I don't know, it's like an Indian dish, right? But it's just the sauce, right? So, I put some sauce in there so I can get more calories in. And plus, I ate like those chicken drumsticks, So, they're pretty high in calorie. They don't got that much fat, but, the fat's delicious on those drumsticks. If you know what I mean, then you are an expert, a fat expert. But yeah, since I've been eating a lot in the past few months, days, and weeks, I've been, today it was just like a little reminder of damn, food addiction is real, man. Since you start eating a lot of food, especially high palatable, which I'll keep repeating over and over again, the high palatable food, it is very dangerous for the human mind. Especially if you don't have control over it, that thing will control you, like an addiction, right? I've never taken any drug. Thank God I've never had the chance, or never tried a drug before. But I'm pretty sure it's kind of the same, right? It's like with any other addiction, right? Addiction to the internet, addiction to talking to people, addiction to caffeine, addiction to all those things, right? It's an addiction. Food addiction is real. And if you're on a food addict, you can probably relate to this, because you might be a little overweight if you're a food addict, or if you're a skinny person and you're a food addict, then damn, bro, I mean, congrats. You get a furnace inside of you, because all those calories, all that fat, all that deliciousness going inside of your body, you just burn it, if you're skinny and you got good genetics on you. And plus, if you're active, because some people get away with it, maybe you do get away with it, but for the normal average, not so greatly gifted genetically, specimen like me, we have to struggle a little bit, because we can eat that stuff, we can eat junk food, we can eat food that we are addicted to, right? I don't know what your food of choice can be, or a snack. It can be chips, it can be a cheesecake, it can be cake, it can be so many things, and ice cream bars, candies, sour candy, sweet candy, I don't care, right? All of that deliciousness, right? That we, since we are kids, get conditioned that, hey, you know what, this is good for you because you're a kid and you might maybe someday want to eat candy, right? But it just depends how you were raised. But here's the deal, food addiction is real. And by the thing I say when it's real is that when you get addicted to food, it's so hard to get it off your mind. You're thinking about food all day. As a food addict, since you have no control over it, you think about food, right? You think about your next meal. You think about, what am I gonna eat later, and what can I get for when I get hungry for right now, right? For at night, or for like a late night snack. So many people get this thing wrong, right? Because some people, get up in the middle of the night and they like eat, that's pretty common. I don't know if you guys have done it in the past, but sometimes you get up, late at night, it's like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, maybe you're hungry, maybe you're thirsty, right? You drink up a glass of water and you're like, no, I'm thirsty, like I'm fucking hungry, right? So you go eat a fruit, and maybe just go snack in the middle of the night, right? Some people do that, and that's why people sometimes gain weight, because the food of choice, you're not gonna eat a 8-course meal, right, at 3 in the morning. You're just gonna get like whatever's in there, right? Maybe some chips, maybe a chocolate bar, maybe some chocolate, so you can be all happy and shit, so you can go back to sleep, right? I got the hiccups from the freaking chicken masala. But yeah, man, food addiction for me, at least in the past few years, have been kind of rough, because I come from a very fat family. I come from an obese family. I've talked to my relatives and my mother, right? She says that our family, is very big. there's not a lot of athletes in this family, right? Which, back when they were young, of course they were athletes, but when they started settling down for their lives, none of them really, focus on their physicality, I want to say. But, they focus more on family and focus more on themselves. And so, when they focus on themselves, that food addiction came in, right? Because I come from a family of obesity, right? Obesity runs in my blood, There's no doubt about it. I get called a controlled obese person, I'm a controlled fat person. Because as you can see, I've been eating like a pig. Like, I'm not even kidding, Sometimes, like right now, I can't even breathe sometimes because I can't breathe properly when I'm trying to talk because, I'm too fat. I got too much fat on me, So, I got my body working 24/7 in order for me to maintain this kind of fat. My body does not want to be like this, My body can get to this point and further if I let it happen. But, my body is already accustomed to like walking, to fidget around, because one thing that I talk about in other channel is that need, your need is very important when you're trying to lose weight or maintain weight or even just to be healthy. Doing this, moving your body around, going for a glass of water, even if you're in an office job, if you're just, calling and you're like walking around fidgeting, 5 hours, guess what? You're gonna burn calories. You just don't burn calories at the gym. You burn calories 24/7 because your body has a basal metabolic rate, right? Your body needs calories in order to function, right? Your body already burns calories in itself. So, some people take their, basal metabolic rate, which let's say, for example, it's 1500, right? 1500 is, what your body burns daily if you're not moving, if you don't have any physical activity or whatsoever, right? If you're like in a vegetable kind of sense, right? Those people that can't move, right? Sadly they can't move, but and they're in a vegetable state, like this, depending on how your body is, how much muscle you have, or depending on how you're genetically gifted or genetically predisposed, you have a basic basal metabolic rate, which is hard to it's hard to get an actual number because it varies, right, from person to person. You could have 2000 just sitting there all day, and you could eat like 1500 calories and you'll be losing weight. How crazy is that, right? Some people are just blessed like that. That's why some people that are skinny, right, they have really fast metabolisms, plus their basal metabolic rate, plus they have activity levels up to here, right? So that's why they don't gain weight. That's why they even look shredded, even eating pizza, eating bread with oil and cheese and pepperoni, high fat food, with a lot of bread. And yeah, I mean, I come from a really obese family. All my life I've been like kind of like husky middle, not that fat, right? Not that obese fat. When I came here to the US, that's where everything started escalating, right? Just like a little backstory, right? When I came here in 5th grade, for all of us, right? Yeah, 5th grade, around 2012, 2013. Yes. Yeah, I think so. It was around 2013, right? No, it was 2013, 2014. 15, 16, 6. Wait. Yeah, I was like 10 years old. Yeah, 2013, 2014, something like that. Dude, I remember, back when I was in TJ, I used to get taken care of by my grandmother, right? And so, you always get the usual grandmother meals, right? They want to nurture you, they're not giving you bullshit ass meals like junk food, they're not giving you like soda, they're not giving you any kind of sugar, right? Because it's your grandmother. Your grandmother loves you. She wants to give you good food so you can grow strong, and the usual, right? But when I make the switch of coming here to the United States, it's very different over here, right? Because we have more fast food chains, we got more of a quick pace kind of day, so you don't have time to sit down, make your food, do this for the 3 hours between between meals, and there's not such thing about that when you're at this level, right? Well, not, I guess, poor, but just at the level, right? Not everybody can have the time to make the meals at the time. You wake up in the morning, you can, you know what I mean. And so we went for the east route. When I came here, I got brought here without speaking a single sentence of English. I only knew how to say hello or a hi, or just doing signs, right, or just moving my head because I just didn't know what they were talking about. And that is one thing I guess it's traumatic for me, right? Which, if it didn't happen, then it couldn't have built me, because I see this kind of philosophy on my life, right? I see it that every failing is like a really good term, or a really good time to, you know, fuck, I forgot the word of it. It's a really good time to learn from what I felt, right? And so I guess coming here without speaking English, it can kind of help me to have the initiative to learn English by myself, because I pretty much I've never had a tutor or someone, or a teacher or a mentor that taught me how to speak English or how to write English, right? Pretty much, I try to pay attention because you know from a very young age I got diagnosed with dyslexia, right? I'm dyslexic. And so sometimes, and also I can't talk very well. Sometimes I have like a lisp, right? Sometimes words come out of my mouth, so like verbal diarrhea, right? Sometimes it'll come out, like right now, and I can't think of it, right? So that's why recently, 2021, 22, 23, I started to read books, because I got interested in my vocabulary. I want to expand my vocabulary. I just don't want to say things like, oh well, or you're right, your typical go-to words, right? They're pretty they're repetitive. And so I have to work on my pronunciation. I'm a work in process. That's the beauty of it. If you could see Andy from 10 years ago, or no, since I was 13, since 8 years ago, you'd be like, wow, okay, he might have wasted a couple of years, but he's doing better now. And if I could go back in time and tell my younger self to to remind myself, or to give myself an advice, which we can get, I know I got off topic, but hear me out. If I could tell my younger self an advice for life, is learn how to talk, how to socialize, learn how to sell, even from a young age. I used to be like a young little salesman over here, because I used to sell my toys when I was in first, second grade. Yeah, I used to have this little like plushies, or like this little like, I don't know, they were kid toys, right? And I used to sell them for like pesos, right? The currency in Mexico. It wasn't that much, but I tried to sell my fucking toys to the kids, right? And then I almost got in trouble with the principal, because you can't do that, right? You're a kid, you can't do that. And that's how sometimes they kind of program you to not do a certain thing, right? So I guess if I've done that, it could have been a whole different thing. But if I could say a couple of things to my younger self, is learn how to talk, socialize, learn how to sell, which is pretty much the same thing. But it depends on the outcome of it. Now, the other thing is reading. I know it sounds kind of cringe, I know I went off topic, but reading, because reading can help you a lot. It can help you to socialize even more. And so I have a little backstory to tell on another occasion. But I just wanted to make this little video for food, right? Food addiction. So that's how, if you can picture this in your mind real quick, right? If you can picture this in your mind real quick, is that from whatever happened to me 10 years ago, I carry it with me, right? I don't know if I like indulge myself in delicious treats just because I want to calm down whatever was inside of me that I didn't want to let out. Some people tell me to go to a psychiatrist, some people tell me to go to a therapist, but in reality, that's how great people are made, and that's nothing to be arrogant about, because why would I waste my time to talk about my problems to someone else? You know what I mean? Like, okay, I'm paying you to give you my problems, and what are you gonna tell me? Oh, I mean, if you feel this thing good, if you don't feel good, journal or meditate. Bro, I hear that every day. Even though I did do it at a certain time, I don't do it anymore, and I wasn't consistent with it. And I'm being honest with you guys. I'm not perfect. I'm not like one of those like people with lavish lifestyles. No, look, I live with my mom. You know, it's the process of, becoming a great person, and that's why, it's hard to me to be kind of, vulnerable to some things, because I don't really want to talk about the personal stuff that's going on, because I guess it's just too personal, or I'm not used to giving out personal information, right? So, that's a little thing about me. I know I went off the rail. I know I went a little off topic, but food addiction is real, man. Even if you're food addicted to eating more, or food addiction of, okay, how many calories is this? What can I eat today so I don't get fat? So, there's always the good and the bad, not the ugly. That can be the bad, the ugly. There's always the good and the ugly. The ugly thing is that, you have the food addiction of saying, okay, I have an eating disorder, I don't want to get fat, I have a certain image I want to look like, I want to look like this my whole life. And then you start like kind of brainwashing yourself, right? You start telling yourself this belief that you need to look a certain way in order for you to get accepted in society. As of lately, I've been thinking about, get comfortable in your own skin, right? If you're fat, or if you're even skinny, right, get comfortable with it, but do make a change. Obviously, be okay on both sides. Don't just be okay when you're skinny and then you get a little bigger and then you're like, I mean, I don't know, man, I don't know who I am. And I don't know if that's called maybe a psychopath or maybe existential crisis, but that's how I see it. Be comfortable who you are. And I guess that goes both for me. That goes for me too. I'm talking to myself as well, because at one point I was at your shoes, my friend. Yeah, even if you were fat, even if you're skinny, or even if you're fat right now too, because I'm getting fat as well. But I've been in these shoes, and like I said, it's really hard for me to, it sounds fucking gay, but express, I guess, my feelings to people, because I don't like doing that shit. I just like to keep it to myself, because it's kind of like my self fuel, right? I remember where I am at this time, and I just feel myself to make a change, right? At least something, something make a change. Not a whole lot, because it's not gonna be over the morning, right? It's not gonna be overnight, but it's the way I say, the process. Everybody's got different processes they have to go through. And I know I just went off topic again, but here's something to think about today. Food addictions, and a little bit about life. Make a little reflection. Like right now, maybe I'm going a little off the rail, telling you guys about myself, which is good, but maybe not this video. But I mean, hey, I guess if you like the, I mean, I can keep going on and on and on, but if you like the video, comment down below what you like. Comment down below if you had a past experience with food addiction. I know it's very common here in the industry, so let me know what you think about it. Let me know if you ever have trouble, because I do got some tips for you guys, if you guys are like, if you guys do have an ED, right, an eating disorder. Not, well, actually both way around, if you're overeating or if you're under eating, right? Because the coin, goes both ways, right? You flip the coin, one side is bad. You flip the coin, the other side is bad as well, and then we need to make it good, right? So yeah, that's gonna be the end of the video. Hope you guys like it, and I'll see you guys in the next time. Peace.